What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. So today we have the updated top 10 guns in Delta Force. So the reason why I'm already doing a new one is because recently we have gotten an update which nerfed and buffed a couple of weapons. Now I had some time to try them out, so I was like, you know what, it's good time to give you guys a proper updated video on this. For the builds, be sure to check out the description. Today we're not really going into the builds, we're just going to be talking about which guns you should try and use, especially when you're new to the game or have not really played the game much since the most recent update. So the first gun, which has always been kind of a steady gun, but it's not really being used a lot. And I think it's because it takes a bit of time to get used to and to really figure out how to play with the gun. It's the AUG. It plays a little bit more defensive than it does in most other games. However, with the pretty low recoil, one of the lowest recoil guns in the entire game, it's very consistent and has a very good TTK. Definitely a good starting weapon if you're new to the game and you're not sure which weapon to use. Up next, and this might be a little bit of a shock. I don't know if a shock is really correct because this was one of the best guns in the game. However, I'm still putting it in the top 10, so it does mean it's still a very good gun. It just dropped a couple of spots. I think I put it on number 2 in the last top 10 videos, top 10 guns, but now it is on number 9, the M4A1. They nerfed it a decent amount in the last update. However, I think it's still a great weapon. The nerfs were pretty fair to the gun. I don't think it's as overpowered, but however, it's still very usable. The recoil and stability is definitely a little bit more of a challenge, and to figure out the right build is very important for the M4A1 right now, but still a very good gun. Up next, and this is a newcomer into the top 10, and that's because they updated and buffed it, the QCQ171. This is one of the newest guns to the game. It came with the latest season, and when the game just introduced this weapon, the recoil was absolutely awful. Definitely close to one of the worst SMGs in the game. However, now it has a very good recoil, and you can change up the attachments rather than going full out on control. You can actually make it a very decent versatile weapon. So it deserves a spot in the top 10 right now. Definitely worth checking out after the update, the QCQ171. Up next, and this is a gun I don't die by a lot. I see a lot of good players use this, however, and it might be because the TTK might in the beginning not seem as good. But once you find, again, the right build for the MP7, it is an absolute amazing gun. It works well for close range, but even because the recoil can be quite low, you can actually have one of the lowest recoils on this weapon. I think you can build it up to a 96 recoil control. You can make this very beamy with a pretty consistent time to kill. It is definitely worth a shot. Good reload time. Overall, just a very decent weapon that's worth trying out. The MP7. Up next, and this is also a new one into the top 10, the QZB95-1, I believe the name is. So what they recently changed to this gun is that it has a 1.2 multiplier in chest shots, which makes it a very consistent 4-shot kill for a very long range. So if you have not tried the QZB, I definitely recommend trying it out. will probably come out with a new updated video on this weapon very soon to let you guys know what exactly of the attachments you want to be using and how to calibrate this weapon, because it is quite important. But the QCB definitely deserves to be in the top 10 right now. Great weapon. At number 5, and this is a gun that also dropped a couple of spots. However, I still think it's great. The SR3M. The reason why it dropped a couple of spots is because they lowered the bullet velocity and it has some damage reductions for range. So you're gonna definitely notice this gun is not as effective from range as it used to. However, with the high rate of fire, good reload, good hip fire accuracy, good recoil control still, it is a very good, decent weapon which can be kind of used on any map you want. So I think I put this on number 3 on the last top 10. It deserves a number 5 this time. Number 4, and this is quite a specific weapon. because you cannot use it on every map, but I had to put it in the top 10. And once you are on the right map and you use this gun, it absolutely shreds. The S12K automatic shotgun or semi-automatic shotgun. However, with the right build, you can make it automatic, which makes it a lot easier to use. Even if you have a good trigger finger, I definitely recommend still trying out the automatic mode, because you can just be a little bit more consistent and focusing on your aim rather than trying to tap it as fast as you possibly can. At number 3, which is a new gun into the top 10, and it went from being not in the top 10 at all to number 3, so it got a really good buff. The AK-12. If you have not used this weapon yet, definitely be sure to try it out. The AK-12 absolutely shreds players right now. It's got stability increasement and it has some damage buffs to it. And it makes it very consistent. If you used the AK-12 before, it was always like kind of an okay-ish weapon, but it just didn't quite make it into, you know, competing with the meta weapons that are currently in the game. But now it definitely can. The AK-12 is a 100% the gun you should try out right now. I recently made a build video for this gun as well. Definitely be sure to check that out. It's a great gun and a lot of fun to use. Basically kind of the new M4A1. On number 2, and I think this is one of the most underrated weapons in the game, because I barely see, well, I see it being used, but not as much as in comparison how good this gun is. And the reason why is because it doesn't fit everyone's playstyle, and you need to adjust your playstyle to this gun. You cannot really adjust this gun to your playstyle, which you can to a lot of weapons. However, once you adjust to that playstyle, you're gonna get really high kill games. I got one of my highest kill games with these with the gun, multiple 140 kill games with the M250 LMG. It is a super good weapon for range. The damage drop off is not really there. The range is 50 meters. You're gonna get a 3-shot kill up to 50 meters, which is absolutely incredible. So definitely be sure to try it out. Check the build down in the description. It's a great weapon. At number 1, which has been number 1 for a long time, the king, the SMG-45. They recently buffed it, or recently, a couple of weeks ago, buffed it even, and before that it was already number 1. With a slower rate of fire, I can imagine that at the beginning it might be a little tricky to use, but once you figure out how to deal with it, and if you have decent accuracy, you're gonna realize that the SMG-45 is kind of not bad at anything. It has great range. It has probably comparable range to most assault rifles, if not even better. With the rate of fire, it's really easy to control recoil. And SMG stats have really good TTK up close, so the SMG-45 still deserves that number 1 spot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for the top 10. Hopefully this video was helpful. That's the main purpose of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.